Hello and welcome zurück to the Kieran Carlin channel, and we're doing the 25-26 season predictions. Now, this is going to be a little bit controversial because I've gone a little bit wacky, okay? Because whilst I could do loads of research, that turns out is really fucking boring. I've gone from vibes and bare minimal information as you would down the pub. You don't really know what's going on, but you kind of see based on your own Twitter algorithm and your mates. And that's it, okay? This is a pure vibes-based predictions. I'm sick of research. Nonsense. But I know a couple of things are still bubbling around in there, and that's what I'm basing it on. The bottom three teams. I'm going Sunderland bottom, Leeds, then Burnley. In the past two seasons, all three promoted teams have gone straight back down. But the one before, I believe all three of them stayed up. So I think they all stink, okay? And I think none of them have bought well. Oh, let's buy Brozier for 20 million, who can't stay fit, which isn't his fault, but it's kind of integral if you're going to stay up. Let's, I'm Leeds. Let's get Calvert-Lewin. And if he stays fit, he's not going to stay fit. That's kind of the issue. There's a lot of if stays fit. You got to check the track records, mate. All right? Check the records. All going straight back down, personally, which is a shame. If one of them splashes out and buys in the next 15 days, then maybe it'll change. Because in 17th, I have Wolves. They've lost Cunha. They've lost Nori. And I think, despite the manager coming in and unexpectedly saving them, and they were doing very, very well at the end of last season, I just think it's not sustainable. I don't think they're going to get in enough people, but I think it's very hard to buy in this position. And I just think the vibes will fall apart. And that's why the 17th. I just think the teams below will struggle more. 16th, I'm going Brentford. They've lost pretty much all their good players of their front line. They probably have Matey, got injured at the beginning of last season. He's probably going to return. Maybe he'll be good. They promoted from within for the manager. And I think when you lose the players they have, it's going to be tough. It's just staying up would be fantastic for them, to be honest. 15th, I've gone West Ham. I think West Ham are unbelievably bad vibes. I think it'd be hard to disagree with this. And I think if you offered West Ham 15th right now, I think they would take it in a heartbeat. I think Potter was stinking out the place at the end of last season, but they do have a revived Paqueta. But apart from that, I really don't know what's gone on there. Where are they? West Ham. They've had to buy Todibo for 40 million euros. I assume that was pre-agreed and they didn't, decide on that at the end because I believe he had a bit of a stinker, ex-Schalke, I believe. We've got this El Hadji Malik Diouf bloke who I saw in one of the highlights of pre-season put in a sickening cross, so I'm convinced he's going to be good from that one cross. 50th seems appropriate. 40th, I've gone Fulham. They're losing Muniz, I believe. I believe he is pretty much nailed on leaving. They have bought a 34-year-old goalkeeper called Benjamin Lecomte from Montpellier for 500,000 euros. And that's it. That's all they've brought in at the moment. They've lost Carlos Vinicius. No! If they get a couple people on loan in, probably from Arsenal, they might go up a bit. But 13th, I'm going Bournemouth. They've had their back line decimated. Their rear end has been absolutely torn to shreds. 3 of them have gone to Liverpool, just won the title, PSG, just won the Champions League, and Real Madrid. Good team, Real Madrid. Did they win anything last season? I can't remember. No, I don't think they did. Maybe like a fucking cup. Who gives a shit about the Copa del Rey, mate? No one. So 13th kind of feels like the right place. They've lost Arrizabalaga. They've got Petrovic in from Chelsea. Is he going to be good? I'm not totally sure. He wants to be a number one. That's why he's left Chelsea. But I'm not. Is he any better than Arrizabalaga? Because I feel like Arrizabalaga had quite a good season last year. 13th feels like an appropriate place for Bournemouth. Crystal Palace are up next. They're sitting in 12th. Because they always finish between 12th and 14th, to be honest. They're either 12th or they're 14th. That's pretty much how it goes. So I start them 12th because I think they're going to lose players. They have to sell Gahey. Chelsea should buy him, realistically, because they've lost Colwell. But I think they're going to lose Gahey. But I think everyone below them is just simply worse. It's much worse. They're also going to lose Eze. Yeah, this is pure vibes based. They always finish like 12th, to be honest. So I'm sticking to 12th. There's just a high chance they'll finish 12th. 11th, I've gone Forest. A big drop, a big downfall. I'm not expecting massive things for Forest this season. I think it's low vibes currently at the City Ground. And I think I'm just a bit tired of them. I don't think they're gonna. I think they've got European football. They've been bumped up to the Europa League, and I don't see Chris Wood having a repeat season. I don't see it happening. I don't think it's sustainable. I think they had their moment last year. I think they could have got 4th, and they bottled it. And I think they're gonna have fun in Europe, but I think they're gonna struggle. Brighton and Hove Albion. They have lost some significant people. The main one being João Pedro, who have they brought in as a centre forward. Charalampos Kostoulas from Olympiacos. He's 18, but for 35 million euros, crazy. Is he going to be good? Who knows? Who knows? It's Brighton. He could be good. It's literally impossible to say because they somehow repeat it, but it can't go on forever. I also think they're going to lose Baleba to Manchester United. I feel like they're open to selling anyone for over 100 million. And I think United are going to be willing to spend over 100 million. So I'm sticking Brighton 10th, which I think would be perfectly fine, to be quite honest, considering who they've lost and concerned about goals. Let's see how many goals Charalampos Kostoulas scored last season. Born in 2007, shit. He's had 1 season of professional football under his belt. He scored 7 goals in 22 appearances. Has a Greek ever done it in the Prem? I'm not convinced. I'm sorry, Greece. I appreciate that sometimes you make a food where you put chips inside like bread, and I appreciate that. I really do. But kicking ball in net in the Prem, I'm not quite sure you're there yet. In 9th place, I'm going Aston Villa. I think it's very, very bad vibes happening in Villa. I feel like the whole club is frustrated by the fact they're trapped by PSR and the wage structure that they have inflicted on themselves, to be quite honest. They have signed Evan Gessend, a centre forward from Nice, for 30 million euros. How many goals did he get last season? Oh, he's 24 years old. Oh, I clicked on the wrong link. Oh, 12 in Ligue 1 in 32 appearances. That is a certain amount of goals. Is it good? Who fucking knows? Bad vibes, 9th. I'm going for a vastly improved season from Manchester United. Now, I hate these bastards, okay? And they fucking stink. They really, really do stink. And they still stink. I'm convinced they're still going to stink. It is the history of Manchester United, because over the past few seasons, they were dreadful last season. It was like 15th or some shite. They've bought Buemo. They've bought Sesko, Cunha. All good buys. I am still not convinced. I think they're right. They get Baleba. Maybe he'll be great. My issue is the manager. I think he's just bad. I think it's 4 games gone. I think they're dreadful. And I think if they lose a couple games or they have a tough patch again, and the performances are seriously bad, and I think he's fucked. And I think he's off, and then they'll get better after that. But currently, obviously, there's a huge amount of optimism from Manchester United fans. They need to buy a goalkeeper. Buy a goalkeeper, and maybe I'll bump them up a little bit. But I still think the way they set up is poor, and they can buy whoever they want. I just think they're gonna fucking stink, mate. 7th is Everton. Hear me out. Hear me roar. This is insane vibes, okay? They've got the Ndiaye bloke. They've just signed a bloke called Tiano Barry, who scored 11 goals for Villarreal. That could be interesting. Who knows? Put him up top with Beto, and that could be raucous. Not necessarily good way, but maybe pure vibes. Jack Grealish on loan is huge. Him teaming up with Ndiaye, I think the creativity and vibes is going to be off the chart. I also think Jack Grealish is not going to be unpeppified. I think he's going to be playing in a team, and probably in the middle, where they're not going to have the ball. There's going to be a lot of counter-attacking. It's not going to be the same situation of Everton are never going to play a team that have 10 men behind the ball. It's just not going to happen. I think this might suit Jack Grealish's creativity more, and maybe get his oomph back in his game. I think he's going to be very fun. I think he's going to be very exciting. I think David Moyes gets a lot of grief. I think he's way more solid than people like to believe. I think people think his football is a lot worse than people like to think. I think he knows how to grind out wins. I think he knows how to win games. I think this is my wild card for the season. There's always going to be one crazy team. No one expected Nottingham Forest to do what they did last season. I had them to go down. Everyone had them either to go down or just above the relegation zone. I'm putting Everton in their place. An incredible 7th for Everton. It feels like a conference team season for them. A conference league season for them. And I think they're going to get it. 6th, I'm going Newcastle United. The Isaac situation is seriously bad vibes. But I think secretly they have kind of bought relatively well around that. Let's see what's going on. Elanga, I really like that purchase. 61 million euros. Jesus. Malik Tior. He is from Schalke. He's actually from AC Milan. But Schalke get a little windfall, a little sell-on clause payment. Let's go. That apparently is going straight into the deficit, so we won't be buying anyone from that. They've bought Aaron Ramsdale. I do think Aaron Ramsdale is a good goalkeeper. He has been relegated an alarming amount of times. There's a couple brain farts in there, but I do think in this Newcastle team, I think he's going to play well. I do think it's going to go down very well eventually. I think he should start, and I hope he starts. One of the biggest factors on this is keeping Isaac. I don't know who they buy. They lost out on Sesko. I don't even know who. They lost out on Ekatike. I don't know who's left for them to buy up front if Isaac isn't playing. I think they're going to sell Isaac. I don't know how you do. I don't know how he comes back, and not only comes back but also plays well in this team. The reception will be horrible. It's going to be painful, but he can get back in the team. It's not entirely implausible. All you've got to do, even in the worst situations, is you've got to score goals and put your hand up and say sorry. That's it. That could happen. I don't think you'd want to miss out on an entire season sitting on the bench. 5th, Spurs. Let me remind you, this is all vibes based. I think Spurs are going to get Savinho, and I think they're going to buy Eze. I think they both will go through. I also think people are underestimating Thomas Frank. I think he's a solid manager. I'm not 100% sure on how well the football is going to go visually, but I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be way more solid at the back. Ridiculously so. They looked way more solid for the first 85 minutes against PSG. I think he'll learn from that, and I just think he's a great manager, and I think the vibes will be up at Spurs. They just won a trophy. They've got that monkey off their back. Feel like they can relax a little bit more now. They've got to start the season strong, but I think they'll be good. Arsenal, a 4th. A lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of predictions put them first. Okay, they've got Zubimendi in. I get that. They've got Joker as a striker. I get that. I think the pressure's too much. Okay, I know, and I also think this is 5th season now or 6th season. Nothing to show for it. 1 FA Cup at the beginning. The time to invest was last year. I think other people have bought better, and I think now their team might feel a little bit more complete. I do think it's too late. I think Arteta's run his course. I think the ideas are getting stale. I don't think Gyökeres is good enough. 150 million on Isaac, and it's a different kettle of fish because it's like a confirmed sort of 30 goals. I'm not seeing that. Just not seeing it. Now, 3rd place, I've gone Liverpool. Now, don't get annoyed at me. You can get annoyed at me. I don't give a fucking shit. I think it's going to be close between the top 3. I think they bought phenomenally well. They've replaced Alexander-Arnold. Kirkes is great. Fantastic. Ekatike, I think they're going to get Gehi. I think they're going to get Isak. There's almost going to be no faults in there. However, I just think it's so hard to win it back-to-back. History tells us it's very hard to win it back-to-back. Not a lot of teams do that. They didn't do it the last time they won, but this time they have strengthened a lot more. I just think they'll be more focused when push comes to shove on the Champions League, and I think there'll be some games around the turn of the year where they'll still be in it, where they sort of put out a stronger Champions League side than they might do against one of the teams in the Champions League, in the Premier League, and that's where they'll drop a couple points, and I think they will just be like, oh, fucking, let's win the Champions League. Okay, I think there'll be more up for that. Which my 2nd and 1st is left. Liverpool could easily win this, by the way. Like, I'm not. There could be like 2 points in it. It could go down to like the last 3 weeks. 2nd, I've gone Chelsea. This is vibes based. I think they'll get a centre back. I don't know who. They really should just get Gehi. Just spend the 50 million on him. What's it to them? They don't give a shit about PSR. Just spend 50 million on him. That's solved. And I think they look great. And I think they're going under everyone's radar. Now Pedro is a huge buy. Delap is a huge buy. Pedro will be the starting player, but he can finish. He can just convert. And that's what they were missing massively last season with Jackson. He can get 12 goals, but he's missing a lot of goals. There'll be games that they could have won last season if they had a true bagsman. And I think they've got 2 bagsmen. I can't lie. And Delat's going to be fuming every time he's not playing. And he's going to perform very well in the games where they'll need him to when Pedro might be tired or out. I think that competition is huge. One massive concern is the goalkeeper. I just think Sanchez is quite clearly not good enough. But I'm putting them second. I just think it's just a vibes-based guess. I'm just a little bit controversial. It's a prediction. You don't really know what's going to happen. Everyone could sell all the players in the next 15 days. Who fucking knows? But first, I've obviously gone Manchester City. Now, you might think, Kieran, obviously, idiot biased. All right? There's no weaknesses in that Liverpool squad. I'm baffled by everyone writing off Mr. Pep Guardiola. Now, could we do with a right-back? A proper one, like a Livramento? Yes. There's always been some midfielder who can't defend crammed in at one of our fullback spots. The game's a game. We're doing it again. Hasn't stopped us from winning the leagues before. Hasn't stopped us from dominating leagues before. Rodri, he's injured, but we lost him the entirety of last season. I think he will come back in 2 months and he will be absolutely fine. Actually, I think he'll be back before. I just think he won't be his best until 2 months in. Even then, Reinders, fantastic. He's going to be chipping in with some serious goals. He's like a young Gundogan. That period where Gundogan was popping in with goals from midfield. He has a smell for goal. Haaland will be back. The creativity will be back. I think when you get Rodrigo in, I think it's going to happen. Goalkeeping wise, I'm baffled by the Donnarumma thing. I'm excited. I'm kind of confused and I'm fine if it doesn't happen, to be honest. I would like to see Trafford play, if I'm being brutally honest. For me, last season was an outlier. We had injuries. We didn't sell enough unks and do a full team refresh as I think we knew we needed to last season. I think Pep has learned from that. We've got new coaches in. We're excited. I think the vibes are seriously back and I have to back Pep. Best manager of all time. I feel like people have just completely forgotten that. There's always shortcomings in a squad. There's never a perfectly well-rounded Manchester City team. I think we're seriously back. I've been your boy Kieran. Argue with me down below. I'm not going to fucking read them. I'm right, you're wrong. You're right, I'm wrong. Believe whatever you fucking like. Bye.